So it was mentioned to me that there were several chain reactions. So once Melvin realized I had made the solution, he got kind of defensive and worried about somebody in his tree, his common soul tree that he has been persecuting this whole time. That's John Millet. And he wanted to see in the stages ahead of us that there is no continuing pattern of corruption. See, these corrupt people lost a stronghold. They'll never have it again, and when falls may happen, they'll tend to be against them because there's a lot of back that they're blamed for. They're responsible. They're at fault for many a misery. Okay, and also when people may not fall, they're gonna pursue justice and want to do it perfect and be satisfied. Well, these people are accustomed to a pattern where they can have a next threat. If you do this to me during this time, during the next pattern, I'll do this. So but they no longer have such a threat. So Melvin's overreacted and implemented a plan that was impractical, and it wasn't possible to carry out a hand because there is no next help. He later realized this and began to let go of it. As he let go of it, Ratina decided that she needed to undermine it when it no longer was going to be underminable because he was letting go. See, if she did this when he first started, then it'd be different. That was before he was letting it go. Then you could kind of see how she could possibly undermine his plan. But when he was ready to let go and had already begun to do so, it no longer was his plan. She wasn't undermining anything. See, corrupt people suffer from mania and misusing powers. And they have mania. They have natural manias. Okay, now several other chain reactions happen. A few. I don't know how many yet, but I'm learning about them. And Lamar, who somehow labeled himself to be my Uncle David. And I'm going to call him Lamar because he is not to be confused with David, King David, the person, Judy. Had achieved something with very, 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 very long ago. Now, he overreacted and he went crazy. See, I was put into some persecutions. One was terror. That reflected Melvin's worry. He was worried about how John Millet was going to possibly fall against him. But though he could do nothing about it, if in fact he could, he in fact won't be for a very, very, very long time. There's nothing he could do now that would have a bearing on them. So Uncle David also overreacted. He decided to do something that wasn't in their scratch the end plan, end stages plan. He decided to see a group out of its recovery. So they had to develop with us to be able to recover another way now. So they can't do what they planned on doing. This started a chain reaction of checking. See, now this group is so motivated to what? They're not going to have a pattern of cooperation the way they plan. They have to recover a certain way. If other people put not only them but other such groups in jeopardy, or could, they're going to be more inclined to check and need to do so. So each stage not only was scratched already, but what Uncle David did was began another chain reaction of shortening how the stages could be. They're not going to be nearly as long from the scratch, and then they're going to be not even nearly as long, even shorter from the chain reaction that Uncle David started. So I was given another set of persecutions in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Robert, finagling Fat Boy Chuck's identity, who's a premature soul. There's several things that he can't do that Robert was using it as a front for. Robert said, "You're crazy," and started giving me a will that with my expressions or whatever, where I'm yelling at people. And it's a public spectacle, but it has a crazy theme because what Uncle David did was crazy. See, Melvin was worried, terror. Uncle David did something that kind of has a correlating meaning to this set of persecution. He did something very unwise, and they're not going to, the corrupt people are not going to have even more moves than they otherwise would have had because of what Uncle David, chain reaction that Uncle David started. So from what I understand, Ross Pager is a part of this group that was checked out of its recovery. He's now very dependent on us for recovery. If we're in jeopardy, then he's not going to recover. He's going to be in jeopardy. He has to move in such a way so we're not so much in jeopardy. And several other groups have now needed to move this way. It's a process that can't stop. Keep going. So we're going to continue to learn more about how Uncle David is crazy, and if he's begun to let go of his crazy plan, but also needing to adjust to the chain reaction he started. There's things there's a crazy checking away that he needs to let go of. He needs to resolve to do it the best way. However, these people still nevertheless have manias that they may want to beguile with their true letting go, and do something else that they should. So we need to be observant and realize that even though a previous kind of checking process already had begun, we now have much more of a checking process that we're now in, and we can't go back. It's just going to be that way. And these people are crazy enough to try to hide it and beguile. So we have all sorts of interesting things going on, and what they have done foolishly complements the recovery of the virtuous all the more. Though there was an initial more in jeopardy, there's several stages that are now going to be much shorter. And I'm going to go ahead and go on to San Antonio. And then once in San Antonio, I'm going to get a house, a home. And it cannot be from my own feet. It has to be from something very mutual. That way, Stephen Malone has to stay his hand. He can't take it, or else there's people who persecute him and set him and lock him into jeopardy. So I realized that I had to do it this way in order to have a home. This home was going to be taken. That home in Israel was taken from me, and I was relocated. And now I'm relocating with my feet, not from such a relocating hand with a wind function and etc. I'm traveling with my feet to San Antonio. And I'm going to get to the point where I can have a passport and Judy isn't going to try to take it from me anymore. I'll have it safe in my home and I'll be able to travel to Mazatlan, where we're going to take a device from Judy that she's been crazy with. She's been driving people crazy with all these very obsolete moves that she doesn't need to make. But yet she has a mania. We acknowledge it, so we're just going to have to take her turntable device in Mazatlan. And then we'll continue to go to locations to solve problems. The Alamo is one of them, and there's a new tower there. There's several other locations. So I look forward to this, and we only have about 11 days left before I depart for San Antonio.